guys, let's get more news from Steelers, but first don't forget to subscribe to the channel and leave your like. Why the Dan Moore Jr. narrative with Steelers fans is unfair. In the most recent episode of the Steelers Stat Geek podcast, I made the case for Dan Moore Jr. as still being a viable option for the Steelers at tackle in 2023. The main basis of the podcast is that Moore is a very unique case and being judged by the fan base incorrectly. Much like I did on the podcast, I want to start off by saying what I'm not saying. While many who are in the anti-Dan Moore fan club look at any compliment as being a statement towards why he wasn't awarded the 2023 NFL MVP, this is not simply blindly praising the player. Ultimately, the truth lies in the middle. But what I am not saying is the Steelers should not look to upgrade the left tackle position, let alone any position on the roster. If a franchise is building the best NFL team they can put on the field, no player and no position should be above the ability to be replaced with a better option if one exists. So by making a case for Dan Moore as a viable option at tackle for the Steelers, I am not saying the Steelers should not look to draft a tackle high in the 2023 NFL draft or look to improve the position in any other way. One thing that too many Steelers fans aren't looking at when it comes to the left tackle position is that one possible way to improve is the improvement of Moore himself. Because Dan Moore Jr. is such a unique case when it comes to the Steelers' offensive line, it seems that this notion has been forgotten. One reason Dan Moore Jr. is being put in a category where he does not belong is the fact he has played more snaps on the offensive line in his first 2 seasons in the NFL, 2,240, than any other member of the Steelers going back to 2012 when Pro Football Reference began tracking snaps played. The next closest player is Alejandro Villanueva, 1,835, whose snaps technically should be much less because he spent his first NFL season on the practice squad. The third player on the list for the Steelers is tackle Kelvin Beachum, 1,138, but his total comes in almost exactly half of that of Dan Moore. Looking at this list, there are several players that should have their situation explained. Chuks Okorafor only started his first NFL game because the Steelers' first offensive play was in their jumbo package where he was the extra tight end. And you fan, what do you think of the Dan Moore Jr. situation? Leave your opinion in the comments.